Criminals are using paperwork to steal them. Today, the Montgomery County Prosecutor's Office said 2 people got arrested for doing this. News Center 7's Mason Fletcher explains how you can protect your property.
If somebody says we want to sell you a property with a quitclaim deed, that automatically raises a red flag.
News Center 7 has been all over this trend. We told you in May of this year about this happening to Janice Hayes, who found out her house wasn't hers because she stopped getting tax bills for the property.
I feel violated. I feel abused. I feel unprotected.
The prosecutor's office said the thieves will stake out certain properties, take the address, and forge a signature on a quitclaim deed, making it the property of the LLC it's signed to.
The owners and operators of an LLC called Love Has Homes. Again, what a misnomer.
The owners are Huber Heights natives Deshaun Washington and Rosalind Monique Johnson. They were arrested Thursday morning on multiple felonies and make the first arrest for this trend.
Now, there is light at the end of the tunnel here.
The city encouraged residents to enroll in the Exposing Fraud campaign that was originally created in 2023. County Recorder Stacey Benson Taylor said it led to these arrests. The program alerted them of potential fraud before the thieves could get the deed to the house to a title company.
There are 250,000 parcels in Montgomery County. So we have some work to do to make sure that each and every one of you are enrolled in this system so that we can work to protect your property.
And that was Mason Fletcher reporting. At the beginning of the year, prosecutors told us they had 13,000 homes signed up. Now they nearly doubled that number. We have a link for more information and how to sign up on our website, whio.com.
And tomorrow, the state is closing 2 rest areas in Miami County that are going to be off limits to drivers for about a year as the state works to upgrade them and others. Today, a former truck driver talked about his concerns for other truckers.
You show up to your rest area, it's closed down. Now you're looking at running illegally off the clock. You're risking your CDL, you're risking your employment. And then on top of that, you got to try and find another safe spot to park.
The state said it has 85 rest areas, and by the end of next year, it will have updated all but 10. 2 of those still to be updated are in Auglaize County.
People living near Wright-Patterson Air Force Base will likely hear a lot of noise next week. The base will be holding emergency management response training on Tuesday. That means people will hear and see a lot of emergency vehicles. They will also see some blocked roads. The base is asking people not to call 911. And Ethel Kennedy, the widow of Robert F. Kennedy, has died at the age of 96. Ethel married Robert F. Kennedy in 1950. She was with him when he learned his brother, President John F. Kennedy, had been assassinated in 1963. 5 years later, her husband was assassinated after winning California's Democratic presidential primary. At the time, Ethel was pregnant with the couple's 11th child.
Personal tragedy is a huge part of her story, and I think what she'll be remembered for.
Ethel Kennedy founded the Robert F. Kennedy Center for Justice and Human Rights. For more than 50 years, she advocated for causes including gun control and human rights.
And this video showed just how close a train came to slamming into that school bus. Our news partners, WBNS in Columbus, shared this video with us. There were kids on the bus. WBNS talked with a mom 5 cars behind the bus. She said the bus followed railroad crossing regulations and stopped at the crossing first. Then as it went across the tracks, the bus driver saw the train coming. The mom said they could not see the train before the track's warning system started. The driver backed up and barely got off the tracks. And a cooler saved a man's life as he held on in 30 miles out in the Gulf of Mexico. Here's some video of the Coast Guard finding him today. The fishing vessel quit on the captain Monday, and a helicopter rescued the captain and another person. Then yesterday, the captain went back to the boat trying to get it running. He got trapped there when the hurricane hit. They said his life jacket saved him from the 90-mile-per-hour winds and 25-foot waves overnight.
And Storm Center 7 weather specialist Nick Dunn is in for Chief Meteorologist Austin Cheney tonight, and I keep getting messages about the Northern Lights.
Yes.
Yeah, and so we actually had just after 10 o'clock, we're going to go to Knowledge College briefly here. We had what's called a substorm, which is where energy is released from part of Earth's magnetic field, and thus we get a sudden brightening of the auroras. And so this is what we saw just after 10 o'clock tonight. Some very vivid displays you can see from Dark County there, Cassie Edwards, also over there at CJ Reservoir, Terry Norris, And also, you can see from Hudson, Michigan, that's meteorologist Zach Batten. He sent in a very vivid photo there. So it doesn't matter really where you are tonight. It's visible across the entire Great Lakes. I've even seen some reports as far south as Alabama and Texas tonight that these northern lights are visible. So if you have a chance to get out there and take advantage of the great weather that we have, let's take you out to Urbana. Right now, you can see skies are clear here. In Dayton right now, it is 53 degrees, clear conditions. Light southeast wind at about 5 miles per hour. Dew point very low there at 42. The air mass is dry. A great opportunity to get outdoors or even just maybe sleep with the windows open just a little bit to let some of that cool air in. Let's give you a live look at Doppler 7 radar. Of course, no rain, 41 right now in Urbana. That's one of our cooler spots. 43 in Wapakoneta, 49 over there in Preble County, in Eden and Oxford. You're still the warm spot there at 57 degrees. Now tomorrow, let's take a look at Skycast. It's going to be pretty much a copy and paste forecast from today, except it's just a bit warmer. Starting things out at 7 o'clock, a jacket for sure. There are temperatures in the lower 40s to get the day started. If you have outdoor lunch plans by noon, I know it's Friday, it's the last day of the work week, middle 60s, maybe a light jacket still if that's a little bit too cool for you. But again, get outside and enjoy our typical high right there in the lower 70s and even some upper 60s this time of the year. As we get into the afternoon, though, temperatures tomorrow are going to be the warmest that they've been all week. Afternoon highs there topping out in the middle to upper 70s. And then that trend will continue into this upcoming weekend, but then we do have some changes. Here's a look at Futurecast. Tomorrow, that southwest wind helping to keep us warm. As we get towards Saturday, notice these clouds off to the northwest. They'll start to move in, and by Saturday afternoon, we do see some shower and thunderstorm activity to our north, but I don't really anticipate this to be a big deal. I've got the rain chance at about 30% for us Saturday night going into Sunday. A rumble of thunder is possible with this activity as it crosses through, but again, not anticipating severe weather. Going into Sunday, this cold front is sparking a few more showers for us, will also help to increase those winds, gusting to around 30 miles per hour at times. That's going to usher in some chilly air. And check out Monday. You notice there are a couple little spots of pink up here, and if the banner was not there, you would even see a little bit of blue. That's indicative of some wintry precipitation. We're not going to see that here, but up across the Great Lakes, that northwest flow bringing in some lake effect precipitation, not something that they're typically used to this early in the season. Temperatures tomorrow, mid to upper 70s. A couple of spots could make a run at 80 degrees. Another spectacular day to get outside and enjoy the weather that we have in store. As we look at my Storm Center 7-day forecast, changes are on the horizon. After an early shower on Sunday, those winds pick up. And look at next week. How about 50s for highs on Monday and Tuesday? Overnight lows down into the middle 30s. So if you don't see any patchy frost tonight, you'll likely see some next week on several nights.
Thank you, Nick. We checked out some sizzling competition in this part of the valley. Did you know there's such a thing as a meat cutting competition? Neither did we until today.